Welcome to Mind Shield. We protect the mind and pursue the truth. Let's get started.
Welcome. This is the Protocol for Neural Autonomy, a field manual for reclaiming mental independence and building neurological defense. If you're here because your inner world has been disrupted, your thoughts, your sleep, your sense of privacy, this is not a debate stage. It's a stabilization lane. This protocol moves in 4 phases: stabilization, fortification, transcendence, and action. First, we stop the bleeding. Then we reinforce the system. Then we sharpen the mind and spirit. Then we turn survival into structured resistance, measured, credible, and evidence-based. Think of it like cybersecurity for a human nervous system. Reduce attack surface, harden the target, and document everything. Context matters, because confusion is a weapon. Modern institutions openly discuss cognitive warfare, efforts to influence perception, decision-making, and behavior. That's not sci-fi, that's doctrine-level conversation. We also have a public history of anomalous health incidents and research into pulsed energy exposure effects. And then there's the microwave auditory effect, reported in the scientific record decades ago, where pulsed RF energy can be perceived as sound inside the head. Here's the key. This slide is not claiming any single explanation for your experience. It's making a narrower point. The category of technologies that can affect perception is real enough to demand professional investigation, not ridicule, not panic. Now we go tactical. Discernment. When someone reports internal voices or sensations, society tends to shove everything into one box. That's a mistake, because different causes require different responses and different language. This framework compares 2 broad possibilities: organic dysfunction versus external targeting/intrusion. Look at the factors: timing of onset, whether the content is vague or unusually specific, and whether there was a clear triggering event: conflict, exposure, retaliation, a sudden life shift. The takeaway is the sentence at the bottom. If a switch was flipped later in life, the cause may be external, not internal. Translation: don't self-sabotage your credibility. Use structured observations. Stay precise. This slide is about a trap, the diagnosis loop. Stage 1. A label gets applied. Stage 2. If interventions don't resolve the experience, the system escalates. More suppression, more sedation, less investigation. Stage 3. You're discredited. Your reports become symptom escalation instead of potential evidence. Whether or not a diagnosis is ever appropriate in some cases, the strategic point is simple: the medical gaze can end the investigation before it starts. So we operate like disciplined investigators: document, measure, and speak in ways institutions can't easily dismiss. Now we fortify the platform: your body. A stressed body is a conductive receiver. A fortified body is a shield. 3 basics form your triangle. 1. Metabolize stress. Physical exertion is how you flush stress chemistry. You can't logic your way out of adrenaline forever. 2. Solar reset. Sunlight anchors circadian rhythms, your biological clock, so your nervous system stops drifting. 3. Sleep hygiene. Defend sleep fiercely. Darkness, consistent schedule, and noise management. Sleep is where resilience is rebuilt. Hydration sounds boring, which is exactly why it works. Your brain is electrochemical. Dehydration disrupts electrolyte balance and can amplify static, fog, and instability. Water also supports metabolic clearing, your system's cleanup cycle. Protocol: Aim for high quality, mineral rich hydration. And yes, when you're dehydrated, the noise often feels louder. So we start here, the simplest knob that moves the whole machine. Next, nutritional support. Think of this as maintenance for wiring and insulation. Omega 3s support myelin integrity, better signal stability. Lion's mane, often used for nerve growth support pathways. Reishi, commonly used to calm the system and support immunity. Chaga, antioxidant properties. Cordyceps, energy and stamina, because this is a marathon, not a dramatic movie scene. No miracle claims, just stacking advantages, reduce inflammation, support recovery, and keep your baseline strong. This slide is your navigation map, finding peace during the invasion, not only after it stops. First, cognitive reframing. Shift from I'm being tortured to I'm being tested. That doesn't deny suffering, it changes posture. From victim to operator. Second, meditative awareness. Secure the perimeter. Observe intrusive sensations without merging with them. Third, careful expression. Silence can be a shield. Oversharing can feed skepticism, drain energy, and create social blowback. Order emerges when you follow a sequence. Stabilize, observe, choose, act. This is where we become ancient and dangerous, in the best way. Stoicism teaches the harasser can hit the external signal, but you control the internal interpretation. Sophism and logic add a felt perception is not automatically a true one. Question, analyze, demand evidence. The diagram is the point. Build layers, perimeter defense, cognitive barrier, internal shield around the self. Goal, decouple the self from the stimulus. When the stimulus can't steer your identity, it loses a core payload. Here's a manual override for your autonomic nervous system. Box breathing. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Mechanism. It shifts your body from fight or flight into rest and digest. And then the key line. Label intrusive sensations. This is a signal, not my thought. That label breaks the emotional reaction loop. You're not pretending nothing is happening. You're refusing to let it drive the vehicle. Now we talk about a power layer that doesn't run on electricity. Lean not on your own understanding. This isn't passivity, it's surrendering the obsession of decoding every attack vector in real time. And here's the radical move. Love as a weapon. Harassment feeds on fear. Radical grace neutralizes that fuel source. Action, pray for the perpetrators. Not because they deserve it, because it breaks the victim-abuser bond and reasserts spiritual superiority. Result: peace that surpasses understanding, peace that can't be hacked. Immediate tactics for the long now. 1. Document dispassionately. Log symptoms and frequency anomalies like a scientific experiment, not a diary of horror. 2. Shielding basics. If you experiment with passive shielding, do it as a test. Don't turn into a recluse. 3. Maintain routine. Eating, working, socializing on schedule is an act of rebellion. Living well is resistance. This is how you deny the harasser the fruit of their labor. Financial autonomy, secure resources, because financial stress amplifies vulnerability. Social connection, avoid isolation. Stay part of the human community without oversharing. Trusted network, verify trust. Quality over quantity. A predator loves a lone target. A resilient person builds a small fortress of people and structure. Here's the bridge from survival to advocacy. Move from victim to advocate without turning into a chaos engine. Support neurorights legislation, legal recognition that the mind has boundaries. Demand accountability. Classify covert neurosensory intrusion, CNSI, as a human rights violation. And collect data. Contribute to evidence-based reporting, not speculative theory spirals. The future belongs to the documented. History rewards receipts. I distinguish my thoughts from the interference. I fortify my body with the earth's tools. I shield my mind with ancient wisdom. I anchor my spirit in radical love. I am not a target, I am a survivor. End of protocol. Begin the long game.